Okay, so for those wondering, just to like, because not everyone's caught up on all the context. Okay, so there's new Chat GPT stuff that does some new image generation that came out, and the one that I think really took everyone away was the Studio Ghibli stuff. So here was XQC's reaction to it.
Well, this is kind of cute. Well, that's kind of hard.
AI haters dropped to their knees and wept today.
Well, this is kind of cute. Well, that's kind of hard though. Hello? Yo, that's kind of hard though. Chat, how did you do that? It's the Ghibli filter on GPT. Upload any photo. Oh, he's trying to top first. Hey, that looks kind of good though. Hold on. Yo, let it cook. Let it cook. Chat, this has no aura. Chat, this has no aura. It's already kind of ruined it. Chat, this is kind of cool though. Chat, that was the original one. Chat, what about this in like the medieval style? Okay, 70s dark fancy style. Send it. Hey, hold on. Hey, hold on. Chat. Chat, is that cool? Chat, that's kind of cool though. Chat, is that accurate? Hey, hold, chat. Wait, accurate. Chat, it's just like real life.
Okay, that's not accurate.
It's just like real life. Hey, hold on.
Okay. I'm curious for some of chat's hot takes on this.
Hey, hold on. Hey.
Okay. I have a general thesis for you guys. My thoughts on AI art and all this stuff, and then I can kind of like go in and we'll break it down a little bit. Okay. First of all, I think it is copium to say it's not objectively visually pleasing or like well done. I think that's copium. I think if you look at these images, like some of the ones that were generated, they're actually like, it's like, and by the way, and if you don't believe that, if you don't think that's true, I do think it's only going to get better and they will look better. So like this is the worst that it will ever look when you do JoJo style of XQC and Nomi. I think
Blau dance.
So I say that first as like an admission though. The second thing I will say is that this is one of, I genuinely believe this is a bigger existential threat to humanity than the robots taking over and killing us. I think it is really sad. I think you can hold both of those opinions. In chat, you guys will probably agree. You guys can probably look at this and be like, okay, it does. Yeah, we get it. It looks good. And I think you need to admit that so that you need to, because I also want a little bit of, I think people should have a little bit of patience and empathy for people like XQC or other people reacting this way. I think a lot, I think there's a lesson I would have. It's don't just think that you should like go crazy, like criticizing XQC or anyone who is astounded by the AI art. It is pretty astounding. Do you know what his reaction reminds me of? This reminds me of the reaction I have when Rebchan sends me art. It's really cool to see yourself in these worlds and done up in a certain way. It's really cool. I think that's a genuine reaction from him. What's sad though, is that it is actually destroying like a core fabric of humanity. So someone said no. Xoro. Okay, chat. This is one of those things where it's like you realize you can concede certain things while still believing something. For instance, I genuinely believe that AI art is one of the worst things to happen to and into numerous industries for artists, graphic designers, anything. I will stand by that. But I'm not going to lie to you and say that it doesn't look good. And if you don't think it looks good, it will just continue to look better. You need to admit that. And if you don't, and here's the problem. And here's the problem. If you don't admit that, you are going to be caught by the pro AI people, because guess what's going to happen? They're going to take really well-made, like really well-done AI art in like 1 or 2 years, and they're going to compare it to what you think is good art, and you're going to prefer the AI art in some blind taste test, and then they're going to get you with a gotcha on that. And then you're going to have nothing to stand on. So I am telling you right now, if your initial reaction is to fight and say that it doesn't look good, you will lose in the long run. You will 100% lose. That is not the argument that you need to make. The argument you need to make is for what it means to be art and what it means. It's literally a philosophical argument of what it means to be art and what it means to create this. Adam 402, this is beautifully said. Beautifully said. Art is a reflection of people's history and culture. AI steals that. It's the dilution of cultural expression. I legitimately don't believe it looks good right now, too, but I will. It will, though, sadly. Yeah, even if you don't think it looks good now, you have to admit that it eventually will. I also think, though, that by admitting that it looks good, we kind of understand why people immediately gravitate towards it and think that it's really cool. I don't want to I think another mistake people will make in this discussion is immediately villainizing people like XQC or whoever else goes and reacts to AI art this way. Because honestly, it's a normal reaction. I actually think it's a normal reaction to seeing yourself drawn in these different ways. And I say this out of experience as... In fact, I genuinely don't want to do like a dick waving contest about paying artists. I don't. But the reason why I am passionate discussing this is because I think for the amount of money that I make as a streamer versus the amount of money I have paid artists, I've got to be in the top 0.1%, if not the top just 5, if not the number one streamer for how much money I have paid artists versus how much money I make. I consistently commission art from artists all the time. I literally have a artist that is, you guys have seen even, on the starting stream. Oh, VTubers, fuck. Shit. Okay, you know what? I take that back. I forgot about VTubers. Non-VTuber streamer. Thank you. Sorry, VTubers literally just cleared me. They cleared my bank account. I just got destroyed. Thank you, Turn, for reminding me. Sorry, I wasn't thinking about VTubers. That slipped my mind. My bad. But literally so much of the stream aesthetic is based around art. And this is all commissioned art, from RebChan, right? And even the graphics, right? The starting soon graphic and how it's laid out, and a lot of this stuff is done by Dave, right? Our graphic artist. So not to make this I don't want to be too preachy to you guys, but I think when discussing AI art, you guys need to, I don't think this is one of those things where everyone should just dogpile on the people that think it's good. I think it requires two things. Number one, accept that it looks really good. I think you have to accept that. Okay? And that what it is able to generate, not from a artistic, in fact, we don't have to say it from an artistic standpoint, but from a technical standpoint of trying to replicate and duplicate something, it is very impressive. We have to admit that. Number two, I don't think we should go around demonizing everyone's initial reaction to it, because as someone who has commissioned a lot of art, I empathize with that, because it feels like that's the reaction I had after I commissioned art. That even with those two concessions, then I think that we have to be extremely vigilant and take a stand here about being pro art, as in pro human generated art, as in commission artists, as in protect them, whether that's unions, industry regulation, etc., that protects human artists. I know that a lot of people will say, well, this piece of automation did away with these jobs, or, this technology did away with these jobs. I think when it comes to art, and especially, weirdly enough, visual art, this is something that we should hold sacred. It's not like industries that are changed by technology. It is, and they're changed by technology already as well. I believe that art is something that is more core to us as humans, and therefore should hold a higher degree of protection. And that applies also to music.
Pro art Blau, yep.
Thank you, Merlin's knee. The take that no one should have, okay?
About like the tech for it to understand, like, okay, each one of these things is a pillar. These are people walking down here. Like this to me is fucking crazy. So you're going to see this happen a lot more. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to have any jobs pretty soon. Like, I would definitely say, like, that's, you have the, what is that? The 9 leaving Minas Morgul. Like, oh, fuck, man. This is insane. And so you've got Rivendell here. Yeah. So if you are an artist, this has been a really bad week for you. And I want to promise you that it's going to get worse. Okay? So if you're an artist and this is upsetting you and you're worried, I want to promise you that it's only going to get worse. This is only the beginning. There will be like man-made horrors beyond the comprehension of the human mind. You don't even know what it's going to be like, right? And I would focus on career change. Yeah, exactly.
I think this is fucking dog shit. I'm gonna be so honest. I've listened to Asmongold takes that are stupid and dumb. I think this one, from my own personal work, and by the way, this makes me. I think it is absolutely insane that he has ever had any power at what is it, Mad Mushroom, the OTK run games here. The fact that he has had any degree of power at that he ever holds a voice talking about stuff in the games industry, this has got to be one of the worst fucking things I've ever heard. And even if he's writing it off as, oh, he's just describing what's going to happen, he's not like for it. This is fucking horrendous. This is so terrible. And I say that as someone who has worked with artists in the game industry for a long time, as someone who commissions artists all the time. This is horrible. And I also just don't think people are playing out what this means. Okay, yeah. So we this is where human art stops. This is where human art stops then, because we stop creating new things. And then where does art go from there? It's just AI regurgitating stuff from other AI, trying to learn from other AI, right? At the end of the day, it's still, at the end of the day, it copied a style that humans created. It's copying Ghibli. It's copying Tolkien. And so if the future is just us copying these things, where is the ingenuity? Where's the innovation? The new things that then come from that, right? So then why would anyone bother to become Miyazaki? Why would anyone bother to become Tolkien, right? Art has always been copied, though. Art has been inspired. Art has been inspired. It's been built upon and it's been inspired. Even the worst examples of people copying. And what's funny is when people literally copied art, they were shit on for it, for the longest time. I think this take from him lacks empathy. It lacks a broader understanding for what this means for art going forward. I would not want this guy representing takes in video games. I think the difference between Asmongold's take and by the way, and I said this is, listen, I know I just said let's not demonize people for their reactions to this. I'll say this, dude. XQC, his reaction to me felt like a genuine this is the one that I expect a lot of people to have, and I'm actually okay with it. I understand a lot of people are going to look at AI, at the AI art, and going to be like, wow, that's really cool. And they're excited. It's exciting to see yourself drawn in these ways. Like, that's genuinely exciting. I get it. I have had this exact same reaction with the art that I've commissioned. So I actually understand his reaction to it. This is a horrible. Yeah. By the way, I think Simply Elo has a great point here. The irony of it all is that people try to escape from certain skills and work on their creative abilities. AI is taking away the creative freedom that we have to go back to the skills we didn't want to. Yeah. Chat, there was, in a lot of science fiction, a lot of people wrote about the future of the world. And I think a really common utopia that people described of an age of automation is that AI and machines would take over all the menial tasks that we don't want to do to give us humans the chance to explore more what it means to be human, right? Like, I'll be honest, there's certain jobs that I don't think are like an expression of humanity, right? For instance, laying down pavement in a road, right, is not, I think, an expression of humanity. You could say it's some degree of expression of humanity, but I'm not as worried about laying down pavement in a road going away if we fully automated that process, right? What's sad, though, is we still have people doing that. In fact, in any number of industries that we thought would be automated and taken out by this time, you still have manual labor and people doing all sorts of work in the modern economy. And now the one thing that I genuinely feel is threatened the most on an existential level is the one thing we wanted to preserve when we freed up our time, right? People thought that we would free up our time. You wouldn't need to work anymore. You'd get a universal basic income because all of the robots and the AI were taking care of all the jobs that no one wanted, and it would give you time to make music and make art and do stuff like that. And now what's funny is we're literally taking away that one ability. XQC elaborated a bit later on. All right, let's hear XQC elaborate.
Regardless of what happens, okay, there will always be need for some fields, okay, and fortunately or unfortunately, whatever camp you're in, okay, even though I think this is a partially true, the world will always need philosophers. The world will always need artists, one way or the other, because creative thoughts are important and will be needed regardless of anything. And your take on that is irrelevant. History has shown over and over again
Hi Felix,
that these
can
fields
I
are
get
needed.
welcome to jungle?
Tool, and that tool gives them an advantage.
42 months XQCLI.
To have a new answer means asking new questions. Okay, to find new method means you have to be creative again. AI just does stuff that you've already done, methods you've already had, but you need to create new methods and find new things, and only artists and only thinking can do that. Only the human mind can do that. AI will never be able to do that. Never.
Advantage, then they're gonna beat you, right?
And this is why, I swear to God, this wasn't pre-watched. This is why I literally said, let's not, just jump to an adverse reaction to XQC. By the way, I actually love XQC's sort of overall take and journey on this, because I feel like it represents actually like what I would think is a normal reaction. I don't think that if you're someone who's worked in the games industry or in film wherever else, maybe you're not working with artists on the daily. I think your initial reaction is going to be, oh my God, this is crazy. This looks beautiful. This is incredible. But then hopefully you come back, you sober up from seeing the cute images of yourself. You come back and you state this, you know? But I think the caution is, and this is like, it's whenever one says, well, this is just, it's only going to get better. It's, you know, your week's about to get a lot worse in the whatever horrible way Asmongold was saying. I don't think that's true, because I think we as individual consumers can choose to support genuine artists. Number one. Number two, I think that industries could and should start to make policies around this. I think creating, whether it be unions, whether it be, you know, certain practices, whatever the case might be, I think this needs to be something that, whether it's done at a private company level or even at a state level, of like, we need to actually protect against this. Unfortunately, too many people support and want to have the funny AI art machine. Okay. Chat, I think the concession that I would make is that the AI art machine and all of the things that we have seen regarding AI art is not going to go away. I don't think that's going to go away. And it will only increase in prevalence. What I do think is important is making sure that we protect artists going forward, right? Because my other fear is when you say, oh, well, the world will always need philosophers and artists, etc. It's like, well, but my fear is like, what if I'm a young kid in, you know, doing art in high school, I might be really discouraged by this. I'll be honest with you, chat. Someone like Reb Chan, I don't think Reb Chan is as affected. I mean, maybe she'll listen. I'd be curious. I should talk to her, and maybe I'll interview her sometime. But I'm curious how this affects her. If it affects her, then we're really fucked. But I think someone like Reb Chan is probably like protected. Like, she's established enough where it's okay. Where I really worry about is the next generation. You know. Yeah, and then now all of a sudden we're gonna have these young kids studying art in Vienna that are gonna be worried about the quality of their art, and then, you know, next thing you know, they're partying at the Reichstag, you know, like shit. But no, I mean, like I look at Reb's stuff and I'm like, you know, I feel like Reb Chan is. But again, she's established. She's in the industry. She has people who are like paying for her stuff, you know, like this was Dibbo who did this. I think, but I'd be curious, because if Reb Chan was worried about her own career and job, if someone like at Reb Chan's caliber was worried about her career and her expression because of all this stuff, then you know we are giga fucked. Then I'm actually hitting the panic button. But again, for me, I'm worried. I think actually the people I'm most worried about are the next generation of artists who, like, okay, I don't mean to be mean or anything, but like, I'll be so for real. Like, okay, Reb Chan's kind of goated, right? Like, her art's insane. I guarantee Reb Chan's art was not always this good. You know, it's not, people don't realize this. People only, when they see Reb Chan's art, they only see like, you know, this stuff. They don't realize that Reb Chan's art probably kind of sucked in high school. She's probably ass. I'll even tell you, she probably wasn't that great. For a high schooler, she was probably really good. Some people are born with superpowers. No. Stop. I actually dislike, and I think Reb would disagree with this take as well. You're not born a gifted, like, sure, it's the same thing with anything in life. You have some innate gifts, innate benefits, but do not be mistaken. Like, it's not like she just woke up and drew this shit. She had to practice. It takes years of skill and practice and dedication to get to this point. And so for me, I'm worried about anyone who has not put in that time yet. I'm worried about early college, high school artists, middle school artists, young kids being discouraged and not wanting to go into this field. That's what I'd be worried about. What are the other takes on this? So I liked where XQC went eventually.
This to me is fucking crazy. So you're gonna see the
Okay, we saw that one.
trend on Twitter is related to AI. I'm so fucking tired of AI. How can no one else see how bleak life has become? People like this are realizing that they are losing. They are losing, and they are losing at an astronomically fast rate, and they're not happy about it. This is the future. That's right, gentlemen. I'm here for the AI overlords. Yeah, I know. I feel like this is what everybody should do whenever somebody does this.
But like, I'm gonna be so honest. You're like, fuck you, dude. You're like, this is like watching The Matrix and cheering for the fucking AI overlords. That's actually that is the equivalent of this. You're fucking cheering for Skynet. You are actively cheering against humanity, and you don't even realize it. I don't think like. And this is tragic to me. And I genuinely, if he hasn't been dropped from Mad Mushroom, he should be immediately. Because the fact that a creative studio or a creative endeavor that looks to prop up new game studios has him advising them is a fucking travesty. Like, that is insane to me.
All of the AI art complainers, every time this happens, they should take their profile picture and then put it through an AI filter and then post that as the reply. That's what they should do. Like, that's.
I mean, how about this then? Okay, here's my challenge to you. Asmon, yeah, you know what? Fuck it, I'll bite. Yeah, okay. Cool, because you can pick on some like fucking broke, person who's not. Yeah, you know what? Here you go. Put mine through. Put my profile picture. Put my banner through, and tell me what you get out. Because it's not going to be better than what I have in here. Like that. This is so fucking stupid. What a dumb response. Yeah, and not everyone is able to fucking commission art like this. And it doesn't mean that we should just then go and you know what? Sure, maybe not everyone's going to be able to afford commissioning art from, fucking RevChat. You know what? Get your friend who's an artist to draw you something cute. Let them practice a little bit. Have some things be scuffed. But this, to me, these takes are just insane to me.
Related to AI. I'm so fucking tired of AI. How can no one else see how bleak life has become? People like this are realizing that they are losing.
Bro, you're acting like you're on the fucking AI's team. You're losing too. You don't even realize it. Like that they're losing. This isn't some fucking team sport. This isn't another like, oh, here's the woke DEI gamer, I don't know, fucking conglomerate that you think about versus the Giga Chad based real gamers. That this isn't about that. Blau, reminder. You can't. Where's the TikTok? Where's the fucking TikTok? Whether you like it or not, this comes from politics. He sees the people behind art as those leftists he hates, so they are losing jobs, and he likes it. Yeah, that's such an awful like team sport mentality to have. I hate that. I want to know what. And by the way, this is one of those things where even I think a lot of people wonder why. And I noticed this from a lot of like comments I see on Reddit or elsewhere about people like, why do people support Hassan? He promotes terrorism. Okay. You could disagree with Hassan's take on American imperialism and the dynamics between the Western imperial powers and the Middle Eastern states. And you could have any number of gripes with him about some of his deeper political commentary. But on a basic question about art and the value of art in human life, he's the streamer that got it correct.
By it, he thought we're done. Like, you know, humanity is done. We're robbing ourselves of what makes us human. And he was right. And we are now at that stage. We are becoming less and less human, more and more like bots. This post gave me a tumor, Lamau. The internet is shifting from sterile to soulful. AI is bringing back the richness of handcrafted aesthetics, whether it's Ghibli style, Baroque, or something entirely new. It feels like we're entering the golden age of digital art. Dude, doing this with Miyazaki is so... It has to be deliberate. It has to be deliberate. He is an advocate for famously frame-by-frame painting, no matter how difficult it is, okay? We're talking about a guy who is exactly at the opposite of AI art. Like, who despises AI art, and now they're just like using... Oh, God, they're using his art style in this way to do propaganda for this shitty right imperialist nation state in the dumbest, goofiest ways possible. It's just like, it's everything. This dude's gonna kill himself. He's gonna see this and just like end it all. It's also, that's the other side of Miyazaki. He's also a deep, I mean, he's an asshole, but he's also a major anti-imperialist. This is done deliberately. The trigger lives. The right is alting and it's working. I mean, I'm not triggered by it. I'm just disgusted by it.
Yeah, I think that's... I'm with Hassan on this, where I'm like... And listen, you guys know that I only watch Hassan on mute because I think he's hot. I don't care for his politics, okay? He mentioned something about Crimea River, okay? I don't care. I can't differentiate any country from any country. In fact, I don't even think we should have borders. I think we should just all hold hands and sing Kumbaya. That's my political belief. Actually, I'm an anarcho-capitalist. I love Ayn Rand. I'm just fucking with you guys. But I don't think it's like I don't think people like Hassan or me are triggered. We're just sad. Like, we're just saddened by this. Oh God, this was like, okay, this one is sad on like a million different levels. This one is just, this is sad on Unreal account. Yeah, dude, it's the official White House account. That's just like, that's just sad on a million levels. Here we go. This is Miyazaki. I believe this is back in 2016.
生命に対する侮辱を感じます。
I strongly feel that this is an insult to life itself. Yeah, I think that's the like broader philosophical argument that Hassan would make, that I would make, where it's why these things we find like deeply disturbing, where I'm like, okay, like if we're just giving people the output of visually pleasing stuff, but taking away the pain and the struggle of creating that art, of learning from failure. In a lot of ways, art is the representation of the human experience. It is the thing that makes us the most human and makes us different from any other species, right? If we had a soul, it would be in art. What about the pain and struggle that went into creating the AI? That's great. That's wonderful. You can use that for other purposes as well. It's not a zero-sum game. I think there's incredible uses of AI. You're acting like I'm just anti-AI in general. No, I think there's incredible uses of AI. I think there's good uses of AI even in art. I think an artist could use AI to, but it's how they use it that matters. Right? You could literally see I could see someone looking at a composition, trying to figure out what the right color is for something, and having some color generator on their other monitor that they ask like, hey, like I'm looking for like a color that something between these two things, and maybe it'll help them with their creative process. It's the same. I use AI sometimes. I use it for creative purposes. I use it to help inspire some of my thoughts, to have a dialogue with, to look up things. Because just like it's like using Wikipedia when you were in high school for research. Like, so yeah, it's a tool. It can be used, but it is also a tool that can just completely obliterate this entire field. Bro, that's the life leaving his eyes right there. Dude. I believe that the existential threat of AI is not that it takes over and it physically kills all of us in a Matrix-like revolution. I think that a combination of AI and rampant social media addiction and a lot of these things are slowly eating away at what it means to be human. It's not killing us in the physical sense, but in a more spiritual sense. FaZe Banks joins in on the AI conversation, says he's good on paying artists. AI takes a fraction of the time, doesn't complain, virtue signal, isn't opposed to new, more efficient ways. Use these incredible tools. Shit's happening with or without you. Sick. Love that. Phenomenal. By the way, as someone who is also has a lot of tattoos, disgusting to hear this from someone who has this many tattoos and has that much body art on them, who did actually go and fucking pay artists. That's insane to me. And by the way, you know, I have no idea, you know, I'm sure some people, you know, obviously get tattoos that are sort of silly and stuff, but like, I'm pretty sure he has enough tattoos that some of them are he had meaningful connections with the artist that did some of his tattoos. And so for him to then go and say this and not, and it's like crazy that this is the fucking photo that they use showing him like literally with artistic representations on him is insane to me. What was the L take? Okay. You either embrace it or quit. That's my take. It's not going anywhere and other jobs will be affected too, not just art jobs. You have to adapt. No, I don't. Why? Why? You're acting like we as people can't charter our own destiny. Why can't we as consumers be ethical in what art we promote, share, purchase? I even said this. I said, and I even tweeted this out. I'm not trying to demonize people who use AI art. I say, you know what, maybe every time you generate one of the fucking, you know, AI images that you post on your Instagram stories, hit up an artist and have them draw something for you too. I don't mind if, listen, I don't even mind if there's much more AI fucking art coming out, as long as we're also paying artists and giving them work and giving them an opportunity to continue to shine, right? So there's individual behaviors that can be done. There's literally industry protections that can be put in place. You have to bankroll it yourself because companies aren't going to hire you. I mean, some industries will put up protections. They've done this before. Because believe it or not, there are genuinely some companies and some studios that don't just care about profit, that genuinely do care. And guess what? Of all of the industries to talk about that in, there is like, when it comes to art, there are genuinely people who care about the art of their industry. Hamoud said, "You did not pay me for my art, Blau." Let's pull up Hamoud's art. Like I said, only 4 abs. So you missed 2 of the abs. Yeah, AI could never, by the way. You missed 2 of the abs, and my cock isn't dragging on the ground, so it's not very accurate. So he's generous giving you abs to begin with. Okay, relax, relax.
I love AI slop images. Well, what do you call everything slop these days? I gotta be honest with you. I feel like slop is becoming a word to like a buzzword to discredit anything in. And let's keep it style. A lot of AI art coming out. It is literally better than most artists' best work that they could. Hey, if something does better by itself than an artist can for the entire life, I mean, brother, I gotta be honest with you. I don't
Chat, I speak juicer. I can translate this.
give a shit. It's just better.
This is before the other take that he had later.
Why would I care? I don't consume the method. I consume the product. If this gives me a better product, I gotta give it the credit it's due. It's a good product.
So I'm trying to also understand Juicer, and remember, this is before we watched his other clip. Okay, so remember, chat, and I believe this was his initial reaction, and then he had another reaction to this as well. X only cares about output, not anything related to how it gets there. Yeah, I mean, but to be fair, he had another reaction to this. I just forgot where it went. I think it was here.
Regardless what happens, okay, there always
So clearly he was like, go, and he went along, and he had this take as well.
need for some fields, okay, and fortunately or unfortunately, whatever camp you're in, okay, even though I think this is a partially true, the world will always need philosophers. The world will always need artists, one way or the other, because creative thoughts are important and will be needed regardless of anything. And your take on that is irrelevant. It's history has shown over and over again
Hi
that
Felix,
these
can I
fields are
get
needed.
welcome to jungle?
Tool.
Yeah, so I think he comes around like so he comes around to that. On his previous point, I think it's obvious that we can say like, hey, it's not just the output. You know, it's a product. I will say this. I do think if you are pro supporting artists like me, what I would caution you in doing is, like I said, two things. Number one, don't demonize people that have an honest reaction to something that just looks visually really cool. That's just that's how XQC responded. That's how most normies or people who just don't work in these industries are going to respond to like cool Studio Ghibli filter, right? We're also talking about a very niche group of people who, you know, a lot of the people who are going to be super pro supporting the artists are a bunch of fucking degenerate no lifes on Twitter who, like, I'm just being honest, right? Yeah. The vast majority of people don't fucking care about this, right? And that's okay. I mean, they probably should, but that's a discussion for another time, right? So we have to understand that like most people are going to react that way. So don't demonize them. Two, I genuinely listen. I know people with like art degrees or who are like gonna hyper analyze every single aspect of the art and stuff will tell you why AI art is bad from an aesthetic standpoint. I am telling you right now, it is not bad from an aesthetic standpoint. It just isn't. And you guys know that to be true. Maybe aesthetic isn't even the right word, from just a visually pleasing standpoint. And if you really don't believe that right now, it's gonna only get better within a year or two. I'm saying you need to concede that so that you don't argue those points. What we have to argue is we have to argue the other points. That's where it's going to matter. How are you fence sitting even when it comes to art? What's funny, Hamoud, is I think a lot of times when I give takes about things, people think that I'm fence sitting, when in reality, I think giving a much more compelling argument that is actually stronger and stands up more the test of time. In fact, I think, yeah, I agree. I actually think on this topic, I think I am the furthest from fence sitting. I think I acknowledge things that are realities. Like I do acknowledge that the vast majority of people are going to see AI art and are going to see the Studio Ghibli art and think it looks beautiful and amazing. And it's only going to look better and better. I acknowledge that. And I don't argue on that point. I argue on the point of supporting artists, on the point of art being a core thing that we should protect from generative AI. That we should, yeah, I even think that we should be on a societal level, we should be legislating how these things are done. That's the issue when the right don't try to sugarcoat things to appease us, but when it comes to us, we have to tiptoe around them to help make them understand and be compassionate, etc. Am I wrong? No. What? You are hearing me, but you are not listening. I am saying the Studio Ghibli AI art looks good. And even if I, not a artist, think that it looks good, the vast majority of normies will think it looks good. So when I am saying for you to debate and be a champion of actual art, don't argue on the point of whether it looks good or not. Because you only had a few months where you could critique that there were, 6 fingers or disfigured legs coming out of the AI art. You're not going to be able to argue that point anymore, and you will argue it less and less in the future because the AI will get better. Blau clicks the wrong tab and his speech is from Chat GPT. That'd be funny. That'd be pretty good. Full bird private. Yeah, to be fair, I don't care how AI art looks. It's just devoid of human expression, which is kind of the entire purpose of art. Thank you. Because what you're going to fall into a trap with is someone's going to be like, which of these two pictures do you like more? And you're going to end up picking the AI art because you're not going to be able to distinguish the two. And if you think that you won't, trust me, you will. It's going to get to that. It will get to that point. So you now need to be able to argue for human art, not on the sole basis of which one looks better or not. That's what I'm arguing for. I'm also empathetic to the people who have this initial reaction to AI art, because one of the ways in which the internet has become so divided is because people lump Asmongold's
as a pillar.
People will lump Asmongold's reaction, his sort of we're go team AI. They will lump his reaction in with XQC's reaction, whereas I think they are actually two very different reactions. And I think to get people, the vast majority of normies who are going to initially react with, oh my God, this is fun, this looks cool, to get them to the point of reflection on what this means for human expression and for the future of art, you need to have that level of empathy with them.